everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube. It is ActionX's premiere show where we talk about all things television. Normally, we're reviewing show on an episode-by-episode basis, season-by-season basis, or quick impressions. However, once in a while, we do these prediction videos where we want to predict stuff happening for shows that we've already reviewed and hope to see when they come back later in the year or the next year. Today, we're talking about Nancy Drew Season 3, which will be returning this fall on the CW, which, as a couple days ago when I was about to record this, they announced the official release date for Nancy Drew Season 3. So we will be returning Nancy Drew Season 3 episode reviews on October 9th. So the show comes back, I believe, October 8th. So there you go. We'll be back. Can't wait. So we only have to wait 2, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9... 4 months. So we'll be back in 4 months to do another round of reviews for you all, and hopefully it'll be another amazing year of Nancy Drew just like we got this year. And yeah, so let's just talk about what I hope to see in Season 3. And before I continue, remember, there will be spoilers abound for Season 2 of Nancy Drew. So if you have not yet seen the entirety of Nancy Drew Season 2, turn away, go watch the show. It's on the CW app right now, all 18 episodes. You can also check out all of our episode reviews, including our season review, that one was non-spoiler. So here you go. So, however, you've done all that, you've done all the homework, you've done all the watching, and you want to hear someone talk about what Season 3 could be about, might be about, probably won't be about, because here's the thing, I'm not a writer, I'm not really much of a grand predictor. I haven't even watched some of my old prediction videos, because, like, I just give myself a facepalm, like, oh, I was completely wrong. Maybe I should do that, maybe next time around when we do another round of prediction videos. Anyway, with that being said, let's just go through the Season 3 predictions. So again, remember, last call, Season 2 spoilers are abound. So please, if you have not watched it yet, turn away. The video will always be here until you get there. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Okay, so again, Nancy Drew Season 3 will be premiering this fall on the CW at October 8th. Friday slot, which is going to kill me because I was really hoping to have more of a social life getting out of COVID. But, however, that will not be the case, sadly, as I will apparently be having no life in the fall. Friday nights are going to be occupied by Nancy Drew. Don't get me wrong, I love the show, I have no problem with it, but it sucks because, so the CW added a Saturday time slot, which for me I thought, oh cool, they're going to do more scripted stuff, which they are, but they want to turn Sunday nights into game shows, so they punching some stuff around. I'm happy with certain time slot changes. I'm not happy with certain time slot changes. Nancy Drew being one of them. I am very happy it's coming back for Season 3. The Friday time slot has kind of been a little bit of a curse for all the networks, since normally when you do a show on Friday that is not like, a streaming service, so to speak, you tend not to get the best ratings possible since people are out. People are out having a social life, so they're not going to be inclined to watch it live. They'll just DVR it or completely forget about the show, and that's usually where a lot of shows go to die, quote unquote. Like if you get a Friday time slot, most of the time, yeah, you're basically like, yeah, it's your last season. Most likely, we're just giving you a slot, so deal with it. I'm not entirely happy by it, but we're dealt with the cards that may. So we'll come to that bridge when we come to it in October. But until then, I will just keep groveling the entire time. I'm like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. Okay, enough. So now you know when it's coming back. What do I want to see story-wise from Season 3 that we have not yet seen in Season 2? I said Season 2 of Nancy Drew, similar to our Walker reviews, it's very unexpected. Like, I was expecting certain things, and they don't give me that, and then vice versa on that. So I give them credit for doing that, of surprising me often, like keeping me on the edge of my toes, not going the predictable route, but not necessarily trying to be stale, but also it's not too crazy. The twists and the turns and the story decisions at Season 2 were not all the time this crazy thing to change up the show at times, but it did definitely like gave me a little bit of a loop. So what I do want to see from Season 3 is, given how we're going to finally have a proper big bad, because Season 1 had the mystery element, like we had the two core mystery, but there wasn't really a big bad. You could call the Everett the big bad of Season 1. You could technically say that, but he never really was a giant thorn in Nancy's side until like he really got involved in it. And then Season 2, you could technically say the Wraith and the Iglaria. You could say that, but I don't consider them like overarching season big bads. I don't really consider that. Going into Season 3, this I already forgot. I think her name is oof temp typical simple temperance Hudson Hudson no, no not Hudson no yeah, Hudson, sorry. Temperate Hudson. Yeah, they're definitely setting the stage up. I really want her to be a true big bad. I want her to be a true thorn in the side of Nancy Drew. Like, the thing is that we're in a very interesting place for season 3. Season 2 definitely set up the cracks of, okay, our heroes know that Temperance is, there's something more to her than meets the eye. There really is going to be something off-putting, and by the time they figure it out, it's going to be really difficult to trust, to have anyone believe them, because again, Nancy destroyed most people's public trust in season 2 with trying to take down Everett. Most people are still judging, like, is Nancy Drew one we can trust, especially once they do get the revelation that she is a Hudson as well. How will that impact the sleuther going into season 3? That's what I want to see. I want to see that interesting conflict. I definitely think you can keep that going. If they're going to do 18 episodes again, this could definitely be the opportunity. Like, yeah, let's keep this entire story going for 18 episodes. Let's have her, like, let's have it like because Nancy Drew has always been the face, the symbol of sorts for Horseshoe Bay. Temperance could come in and easily become the new face, like take over that iconography that Nancy sadly had to leave behind. It will be a battle between them, and I would love to see that. I don't want to see any sort of like army thing. It's just, I want this to be a one woman force against the Drew crew, and I just really want to see how they're going to solve this, and like, how do we beat this, like, this magical being, that this magical wielding being that is that has been trying to do something sinister in Horseshoe Bay for hundreds of years by this point. So I really want to see them explore that fully in season 3. And also bring in the the releases of the week from the original season 1 finale. You know, they definitely set that up. We got a couple of them in season 2, but we didn't get all of them. I know that I'm pretty sure they're going to try and stretch out that pool. Like, oh, you know, we don't know how many got out. There never was a public count, so they don't have to like bother by those rules. But I do want to see a little bit more of that ramification of Nancy's actions, because the ramifications from that finale kind of like simmered away when George in the finale decided to let Odette. Well, Odette decided to like stay in George's mind, not let herself take over George's body and take her life force and let her live whatever life she has left. But I still was a bit saddened that was the way they're going to end things off for now. There is a possibility like she could return in season 3. We'll see. I highly doubt it, but I really want to see more of the long-term reaches of everything Nancy has done, because it seems like Nancy's never been able to, like, so far in the show has finished a certain thing with fidelity and like just fully wrapped up something without having to create another threat or another problem for them to deal in the future. I want them to still explore that, and hopefully we will get that in season 3. Over onto characters, obviously we're going to talk about the main 5, but we're just talking about the main 5. Everyone else is kind of like subject to whatever the writers decide to do, but the core 5 is like my priority right now. So starting with Bess. I said this in the review that Bess was the one who got the shortest end of the stick in season 2 proper. They definitely had a lot left over of Bess's storyline from season 1's remaining episodes pre-COVID, and they definitely put that into season 2. But after that, we haven't really saw much of Bess. I mean, sure, Bess had the Odette storyline where like she and her were kind of like, there's something here. Like there's actually like some flirtation here. There could be potential. And Bess was like really debating like, should I really go after a ghost that's inhabiting one of my friend's bodies? That was intriguing and amusing at times. It definitely kind of was a bit sweet, but it wasn't like the most she could do. I definitely want her to like try and go into season 3 with the effort of like, I'm gonna try and get back in with the Marvins, because it seemed like she just gave up. Because I'm pretty sure it probably was like a, you know, let's try and reduce the amount of people we get this season, so they probably decided to exclude the Marvins. But it did hurt Bess's storyline potential abilities. Well, not lessen, but like cut them short a little bit. And I do now that like COVID's starting to be letting up, and hopefully by the time we get to finish next season, COVID will probably be a thing of the past in terms of just like, okay, most people are vaccinated. We could start like bringing in more guest stars again, more, less quarantining time, that sort of thing. So that's what I hope to see for Bess in season 3, just in general. Let her fight for the Marmons again, because yeah, she has a family in the Drew crew, but we spend so much time of her actually trying to get in with the Marmons that she should at least try a little bit harder to get back in there again and see what could she be doing. And hopefully we'll get to see the Marmons again in season 3, since I believe the Hudsons are basically done. I mean, Everett, I'm presuming, is going to be in jail. His wife is dead. Ryan's kind of like aligned himself with the good people now, so there seems to be the need for like another royal family or another family name to take over. Then let that be the Marmons. So that's where I would see Bess going. Nick, I said this in the review again, in the season 2 review, that Nick, next to Bess, had the second shortest development. He got a bigger bump towards the end, and that definitely kind of set up his character going into season 3. Where now that he's fully kind of wrapped up with the Hudson thing, I believe he's gonna start to try and be a true force for the town. Now that he's got all this money, he's gonna set up this youth center. He's definitely gonna think. I feel like his season 3 journey is gonna be mostly tied to the town and trying to help it and improve it. And whether or not that will come to blow with Temper's plans for whatever she has planned, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, now he's engaged supposedly to George, and that's going to create a little bit more like stress in his life because he's still 19. He's a 19-year-old who is a freaking rich man, and now he's engaged all before the age of 20. That definitely just opens up the possibility for like having him have a mental breakdown of sorts, or just having a psychological analyst of himself going into season 3, and I really want to see that. And yeah, so I really hope. Also, to just connect with Nick here for a second, I do believe, like, similar to how Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl kind of had this dynamic before Crisis and everything, how they used to have, like, obviously the main heroes interact with each other, and then you had some of the side characters, like, vibe off each other, like that unique relationship. I say this in the reference of Tom Swift, since currently right now, Tom Swift as a show has not yet picked up. I don't know if they shot out pilot yet. They've only cast the actor who plays Tom Swift and his AI for this show, but they never casted anyone else. I'm pretty sure if it was it's more like a written pilot sort of thing, and they're hoping to just get it picked up because it's going to be in this established universe. Considering where things are and how many shows they've renewed, I sadly don't think Tom Swift will be out by this year nor next year. I hope we do get to see him again, because I know there's a lot of like potential. Like the thing about Tom Swift, which was interesting as a character in an episode, is that you normally, when it comes to like the last time I saw a backdoor pilot, so to speak, was Green Arrow and the Canaries on Arrow. That definitely had like, we're hoping for a series. We're definitely writing this episode as the first episode of a show. The Tom Swift episode definitely just set up the character and the little hints of his own world. Because from what I read from the original pilot synopsis for Tom Swift, his father goes missing, and in terms of this show, his father's still around. So there's still fairly a bit of time to go before we get there. So maybe they'll just push that back again just to like get ready for the spinoff if it ever happens. But they did confirm that, yeah, Tom Swift will be part of season 3 in some form, regardless if his show's picked up. So, but I'm hoping he does. I love that episode. I think the actor did a really good job, and I would love to see him week to week. But that's just my opinion. But I would love to see if Tom Swift was to roll back into town, to have more of a bromance with Nick, and see how that could develop and help both each other out in that matter. Ace. Final. Oh, we didn't still get the Ace episode I wanted this season, but we got more of Ace this season, which is all I wanted as well. We got introduced to his brother, which was pretty cool. Hopefully we get to see that again, not just forgotten. He got a girlfriend. But now things are kind of setting up a little bit interesting for him, like, in terms of, like, with him and Nancy. Like, does he actually have a secret crush on Nancy? Because for me, I never really noticed them being paired up for, like, such the longest time, because I never paid attention, because she was either always with Nick or Owen, or then now she got a thing for Detective Tamora, then she had a thing for Gil. like I never once thought of Ace as a potential suitor, but then towards the end of the season, they definitely set the seeds of, oh, maybe Ace has feelings for her, or maybe there's something there, a little bit more deeper there. And I would love for him to explore that. At least my goal would be first half of season 3 for him to slowly discover his feelings for Nancy, and then towards the second half, we start seeing him come to blows with Amanda. Like, well, who does he want to be with at the end of the day? And I really want to see that. I do want to see Ace's brother again. I want to see a reunion between Ace's half brother with half brother's mother with his own father. See how that go. I really do want to see that interaction. So hopefully they'll find a reason to bring them back in for season 3 at some point. But anyways, yeah, I that's what I would love to see, because that's literally the only thing we have going for Ace, because we know he had a lot of like unexplored paths which you get. I really hope season 3 is the episode where we do get. Oh, I really hope season 3 is the season where we get the Ace episode that I've been demanding for 36 episodes now. I really hope, but if we don't, I will be bummed again, because I don't know if this will get a season 4, but we'll see how that goes. George. This season, George has been so intricately tied with Odette and Nick that was her 2 points of developing a relationship with Nick and also trying to understand her relationship with Odette. And by the end of it, she kind of has a solid footing on both, leading to the fact that, considering the fact, for me, Odette is locked away for now, and wedding planning isn't something huge, in my opinion, that I'm going to make the bet that George will be the character next season not to get much to do. There's always one character in every ensemble show that has had that sort of run where they have that season where it's like, okay, we did a lot with these characters in the previous season, let's focus on everyone else. If we don't get to her or him, it's fine, we'll get that to next season. My prediction is George won't get that much to do this season. I hope not. Hopefully they'll find an equal balance for all of them, but I highly doubt it. It's just so much you can do on a television show, in my opinion. So that's what I'm hoping for. The only thing I still want to see, and this is like a potential season 5 or 6 type ordeal when we get there, is I want to see an episode where we see the Drew crew off on a mystery, but then we just see the Claw just being operated without them. Like, I want to see what goes on in the Claw when the Drew crew's not around. How do they run the restaurant? Like, actually sustain a business, since, they're still a business. They still need to make money, even though the owner and 4 employees are just basically AWOL. They still need to do that. So hopefully we'll get to see that. Maybe not this season coming up, but I would just love to see that episode in general. But the only thing I can think of George should do next season, besides the wedding stuff, which normally wouldn't be a big deal. I've already reviewed wedding stuff before on The Rookie this year. And I know, unless you set up the characters very specifically, you're not going to get that much to work with, in my opinion. So I'm hoping for something interesting for George this season. But considering how things are going, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't. On to... to Nancy. Nancy is going to be in a truly new ground, and is going to have a game-changer moment next year once she lets the world know, hey, I am not just Nancy Drew, I am Nancy Hudson, and I'm ready to... Because she seems to have this battle plan ready for Hudson's industry, just giving out the entire fortune to people who Everett has hurt in the past, which is a solid plan. She has no interest in running the company for another generation. It would just be interesting to see her change her tune. It's like, you know what, I have this platform, I could use it for good. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go for that option, but I definitely want to see a redemption line for Everett first before we get fully into the temper stuff for next season. Maybe some cross-pollination could work. I don't know how that would look out or how that would take shape, but I do want to see something of that nature next season. I do. And also her new 2 dads dynamic. That's going to be a comedy gold mine there. Just seeing the wise and experienced Carson Drew with the inexperienced, kind of foolish at times Ryan is going to be hilarious. And I do want them to get involved in the matter and the cases, but I would not mind if they just became comedic reliefs this season. I would not be surprised at all. But that's the thing you might do. And also, Nancy seems to be more aware of her feelings for Ace than Ace himself. So how does she explore that? Because she's very different at times. Like, she could be straightforward, sometimes she could be private. I hope we don't get that dragged out too long. I do want to see kind of like a quick turnaround and a quick, like, okay, let's tackle this on directly instead of like, hey, we're going to wait till the halfway mark of next season to actually get to that point. I want to see them organically grow and organically figure it out and then try to figure out, like, is it worth it? I want to see this conversation. I want to see that that storyline develop. But will we actually get to see that? I really don't know. But you could just hope for the best. But and again, I do want to have a polar viewpoint war with Temperance because I feel like these two are going to just have so many different ideologies or. Yeah, I really thought I could beat that yawn. I really thought I was not close at all. I apologize, but that's what I hope for Nancy Drew next season. There's so much you can go to, and considering the fact how slow we haven't even hit Christmas in the show. I think we're just up to November finally. We've been stuck in this time bubble for 5 months, so I don't see them doing a time jump anytime soon. I do see them potentially ending the show once Nancy decides, yeah, I'm gonna go to Columbia. I'm gonna go to not Columbia, NYU, and go from there. I do want to see that development, but will we see that this season? I don't know. Now that the rape's gone, that definitely leads her to be a little bit more positive without any sort of ramifications for anything that happens. So we'll see how that goes. And I believe in terms of like just anything else I want to mention before I wrap it up in terms of like what I want to see specifically, besides the Tom Swift stuff. I seriously don't know where these yawns are coming from. I mean, again, never mind. Again, I woke up at 6 a.m. in the morning, so never mind. It's about to be 10:30, so I've been up for quite a while. But no, I think that's it. I can't really think of much else to talk about in terms of like what I want to see. Again, I trust the writers with all my heart. They're getting paid the big bucks to write the show and come up with these storylines, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. But beyond that, I wish them luck on the season. And I think that's going to wrap me up for the night. But let me know in the comments below. What do you want to see in season 3? What do you hope to see? What developments, what storylines you want to see? Let me know in the comments below. I'm always open down there for conversation. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX, talking about what I want to see in the 3rd season of the series, which is premiering this fall on the CW. If you want to know what we're doing overall, What's in the Tube besides our Nancy Drew coverage, we are doing Walker episode reviews each and every Friday mornings after a brand new episode on Thursday nights on the CW, or for free the next day on the CW app. We're also doing High School Musical, the series, season 2 episode reviews each and every Saturday mornings after a brand new episode on Fridays on Disney+. I heard this other report. I'll probably talk about it in a couple of days from now when I do High School Musical. I heard like they're going to move original episodes to Wednesdays now, so I have to check on that if they're going to move High School Musical. But I think from what I heard is that established shows that have already aired episodes is going to stay to the Friday slot until the end of their runs. So I don't think this will affect us quite yet, but I will double check and I'll let you know when I get back on High School Musical on Saturday. But if you're only interested in Nancy Drew, sadly, this has been the end of our coverage for the 2021 television season. It has been a blast to do 20 videos with you this year. I've really enjoyed this run. I've loved just watching the show this season, talking about it all season long, doing these discussion videos, and I've loved every step of the way, and I can't wait to do this all over again for the 3rd time in a row this fall for season 3. I can't wait. But for now, this is the end of the road for now. We are not doing anything more. We will return on October 9th with the season 3 premiere review, but that's still ways away. However, we have much more to do on the channel, so don't worry. I can't quite talk about what's next for What's in the Tube just quite yet. We were going to have a slate of the channel up this week. Things happened in my life that I couldn't get that up in time, so that will be uploaded next Tuesday. So check then for all the plans for What's in the Tube this summer. So, but until then, that's the end of Nancy Drew for now. But again, if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of us, please subscribe to ActionX on youtube.com/ActionXvideos. I apparently set the wrong URL for the longest time because I'll get to more of that in a moment. Like, favorite, share this review if you want to. It helps us get us out to other members of the Drew Crew fandom who has yet to discover us, helps us beat up that YouTube background that hates me ever so much, and as always, sharing is always for free on the internet. Ring that bell for notification when our next video will be live, which will not be Nancy Drew related, but for now, that's what I meant. Follow us on social media, including Twitter. Follow us on Twitch in case whenever we stream again. And starting next week, we will have our official Instagram page up. The URL has been booked. Everything's getting set up for the launch. It's not really much of a big launch, but it's just another avenue of social media that you can follow. So please, that will be on the links for next week. So stay tuned for that. But again, for all you members of the Drew Crew fandom, again, thank you so much for joining me on these 20 weeks, these 20 videos we produce. I love doing it, each and one of them. Hopefully you have too. Thank you for joining me again for another year of Nancy Drew. Can't wait to be back for season 3. But until then, until we see each other again in October, and again, remember, you can subscribe to ActionX for a lot of other stuff we're doing. So this doesn't have to be a goodbye. Could be a goodbye for now. But until we see each other again in October for season 3, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, until then, peace out.